So that was something. I'm not going to mince words. What CM Punk did here was completely and categorically unprofessional. You can have your own opinion on the altercation that took place after the All Out media scrum, as details of who bit whom and who kicked down what continue to pour in, but let's just take a step back to analyze the moment. You've probably watched and listened to multiple videos and podcasts about it. Maybe you've gone back and listened to Jon Moxley's or Eddie Kingston's promos that hit very close to home regarding CM Punk's character. Anyway, whatever level of discourse analysis, meme exposure, or warning signs detective work you've done, I hope to provide something a little different here. So, join me as we take a look at the incomprehensibly short-sighted, selfish, and company-damaging meltdown of CM Punk. Context. 1. CM Punk hits the GTS and pins Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. This is Jon Moxley's first clean pinfall loss in AEW ever. That's 3 years of not getting pinned clean in a singles match, and he and Tony Khan give that to CM Punk, no doubt believing it's the right business play for AEW. What's more, they have a great match. Jon Moxley, the self-professed heart and soul of AEW, goes to war with Punk in the main event, and both guys deliver. 2. MJF returns in dramatic fashion. Sympathy for the devil, devil mask, the Tony Khan phone message, the scarf reveal. Definitely pretentious of me to say, but in the pro wrestling world, when the lights go out at the end of the night and everything happens that happened, I thought it was the highest form of art that pro wrestling can achieve. What a moment. Number 3, AEW puts on their biggest pay-per-view of the year and looks to refresh their storylines for the fall. Kip Sabian returns. Hook and Action Bronson join forces. The first Trios champions are crowned. Toni Storm captures the Women's Interim Championship. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter finally fracture. The Acclaimed have a star-making match against the brilliant Swerve and Keith Lee. CM Punk regains the AEW Championship. Everyone works hard. Let's sum up. AEW has just had their biggest show of the year. The heart and soul of AEW gets pinned clean for the first time in 3 years, and arguably AEW's biggest homegrown talent returns in dramatic fashion. You can criticize parts of the show, as is your right, it's pro wrestling, but all in All Out was another successful and newsworthy pay-per-view for AEW. And then, this happens. The buzz of the show quickly dissipates, and all the oxygen in the room gets sucked up by one man. The guy who says he works with children, the guy who calls himself an adult, the guy who, instead of talking about the show and putting over the company that butters his bread, and that has given him, let's be honest, everything, this guy, unprovoked by anyone in the room, walks in there, starts eating muffins, and airs out all of his grievances about pro wrestling media, about AEW's EVPs, about Colt Cabana, and complains about one of his coworkers jeopardizing AEW's first $1 million gate while not being able to look in the mirror and realize that he's doing incredible damage to the public perception of the company in real time. This is the guy who says he wants to help the company make money and sell tickets. The one who went on about standing with your coworkers because they would stand with you. And he does this? Zero respect for Jon Moxley, and maybe a touch of willful ignorance for what that pin meant. Zero respect for MJF and how big his return could have been. Zero respect for his coworkers who just worked their butts off to put on a show. Zero respect for his boss as Punk dismissively went on about everything. And apparently, zero awareness of what this 43-year-old adult man's tirade is doing to take the focus off of what everyone should be talking about so that they can talk about him and his grievances instead. It's unbelievable, and it's sad, and it's frustrating, and I'll tell you why. I've been waiting for a company like AEW to come along for a long time. I was out of pro wrestling for years, then in and out with Dragon Gate, Ring of Honor, and New Japan, and it really wasn't until AEW that I actually started following a company again, week in and week out, because they were producing pro wrestling TV that was exciting to me and it was grabbing me every single time. And they're not without their problems, and there are clearly issues that need to be worked out, But all in all, I've just been happy to get a pro wrestling show that I legitimately look forward to watching every week. And now, to think that the company's future might be in jeopardy because of one man's selfishness, one man's inability to read a room, or to have some self-awareness of the effect that his choice of words and actions can have on the company he works for, it's tragic and it sucks. There was already enough doom and gloom around AEW backstage drama before this, but this just needlessly amped it up to another level. Again, I cannot stress how needless this was. And it will be a catalyst for change, both positive and negative. It will no doubt force Tony Khan to make some hard decisions. It will no doubt have some performers asking what the best workplace environment is for them, and it will no doubt affect the AEW fandom, some of whom, such as myself, just want to break from this stuff, and who just want to watch and have a stretch where we can just enjoy the show that brought us back to wrestling in 2019 and not have to think about if things are on the verge of disaster. See you on Wednesday. If you enjoyed this depressing video, make sure to like it and to subscribe to my channel. This might be a long shot, but I'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year so we can start monetizing this thing and taking it to another level. Until next time, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it.